Mike's on.
All right, 3:06 on this Thursday, tomorrow, Football Friday, as you would expect with all the trimmings. Plus, we'll have Don Mattingly tomorrow, and then a big week of shows next week. We're giving away tickets to the Paley Center coming up for that show on the 14th. Our last show will be on the 15th. Tomorrow will be 10 and counting for the shows left. James in Queens, what's up, James? Gary Bettman,
what's
studio
going on, Mike?
about an hour from now. What's up, James?
Hey, I want to talk about the Eli's, benching. Coming as a Cowboy fan, I was very surprised. I've been following his career, living in New York just as long as everybody else. I couldn't believe they did it for Geno Smith. And I like to piggyback on what you just said and talked about, does he have stuff left? Because I've been personally very disappointed in the way Dak Prescott has played. And considering he's not making any money, and let's say this season spirals out of control where they go 6-10 or 5-11, which is quite possible, I would absolutely kick the tires on Eli because I would tell him that this would be my pitching point. Hey, I got the best offensive line in the league. I'm going to hand the ball 35 times to an all-pro back. Give me 25 good throws, and we'll call you a number when we need it. And I think he'd be absolutely fantastic at that role if you can get him at a
well, listen, I think anyone would dream to go play behind that offensive line. Now, listen, I think they like Dak. I think Dak can play the way they want him to play when they've got all the ingredients there. He can't play the way they want to play right now. I think Eli will have a lot of offers. I think there'll be 2 or 3 teams that will be definitely looking for him. He's going to want to go to a place where he thinks he can win immediately. I mean, that's because he's only going to have a couple of years left. But I think he definitely thinks. I know from talking to him at training camp. He first of all, he looks great. Secondly, he does not act like a guy who's at the end of his career. I think, and he's never missed a game because of injury. And I think he's got football left. Now, again, you got to block for him because he has no mobility, which we've learned. And he's gotten into some bad habits here because you know what? You start chucking and ducking, and he's done that. He's getting rid of the ball too quickly. He's done that this year. You throw the balls, you turn away from the rush. It's a bad way to play. It really is. And plus, remember, he hasn't played this year with any wide receivers. He's had nobody there. Act like he's had weapons this year. Come on, what are you watching? If you're watching him this year and the people around him, what are you watching? Watching him play with, practice squad wide receivers and no offensive line and no running game? You want him to play quarterback well under that circumstance? It's amazing he's got 14 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Amazing he doesn't have 20 interceptions. Alan Paramus, what's up, Al?
Mike, Eli Manning, the fan reaction. It's obvious, like you said, the Giants, Mara, they misjudged the reaction, especially by the fans. Okay, but it's easy to understand why they misjudged. Anybody who's listened to your show for the last 5 years, the fans would call you up and rip him even when it wasn't his fault. And it wasn't a few fans. It was a lot of fans. You would defend Eli Manning every single Monday, even if it wasn't his fault. So it's easy to understand why everyone misjudged it. And I'm going to ask you this. Is it crocodile tears by the fans that let's jump on board because they're lousy anyway? And
no, I think you got to remember there's more than a few fans out there. You get the ones who are critical of everybody all the time, and they're mad when they lose, and the ones who have loved this guy over these years and loved what he stood for and loved that he's been their quarterback, and now you're hearing from them now that he's been hurt. Now you're hearing from them. It's different people. The Giants got a lot of fans. You're hearing from different people right now. You're probably not hearing from the guy who's been yelling about him. You're hearing from the person who's never complained about him.
Now, let me ask you this also, Tom Coughlin. He has to have a big smile on his face when he looks on what's going on at Giant Stadium now.
I'm sure he does, yes. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. But listen, the one thing I got to be fair about Tom. Listen, Tom didn't discipline Beckham, and Tom lost 3 years in a row. And if you're going to lose 3 years in a row as you're approaching 70 years of age, they're going to get rid of you. And I love Tom. Tom and I are very close. We've always been close. But he lost 3 years in a row. I can't. If they wanted to change the coach, I couldn't say anything. If I could have told him something, I could have told him, don't lose 3 years in a row. He knew that third year if he lost, he was leaving. They would told him after the second year. Now, what angered him is that they went out and bought $200 million worth of players on defense when he left. That's what angered him. But do I think Tom's loving this? Yeah, I think Tom's loving this, yes. Listen, revenge is best served cold. I mean, I'm sure he loves it. Jim in Newburgh, what's up, Jim?
Hey, it's Matt from Brooklyn.
Matt from Brooklyn?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, big fan. You will be missed. I want to thank you for being the voice of all the Giant fans because you hit everything right on the head.
What's up?
A lot I want to say, but I'm going to try to squeeze it all in.
Go ahead.
I think Mara punked out Tom Coughlin. I think Benny Slick Bakadoo has been riding the coattails of that defense that they all paid for. I don't think he really coached his way to 11 wins, just in my opinion.
Okay.
A couple more things I want to say. I think Wellington Mara will be rolling in his grave if he saw how the way his son handled this. I just think, we pride ourselves on being classy. We are not only lost Eli, we not only lost our class, I also think Mara lost his cojones because cut the guy. If you think that he's not good enough to take you where you want to go, why don't you cut the guy?
Yeah, they won't do that. You know that.
And hold on, a couple other things, if you don't mind. They want to take a good look at Geno, and they want to take a good look at Webb, right? I mean, I could understand saying, Eli, we got 2-3 games left. We're going nowhere. Let's see what the young kid got. But what are you going to look at when you have a team with nothing? They don't even have defense anymore. So, I'm blown. I don't understand. Something is not right here. Something doesn't make sense. And I think at one point we're going to hear something come out that throws everybody for a loop because I'm just flabbergasted. I have no idea what they're doing here. Zero. All right, Mike.
Makes sense. All makes sense. Mike and Merrick, what's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Good. What's happening?
Listen, I might be in the minority here, but the team is 2-9. Bill Walsh benched 2-time Super Bowl quarterback Joe Montana. No one is above it in this business anymore. And what is the big deal about getting benched at 2-9? The team is not playing well. And Eli has not looked great. Again, Bill Walsh benched Joe Montana. And Eli, not Joe Montana. Thanks, Mike.
We benched him for Steve Young. A little difference. He didn't have a streak. He hadn't been a quarterback for 14 years. And again, they have every right to do it. It's how they did it and what they said. And they didn't bench him to put the kid in. They benched him for a journeyman backup, which is what Geno Smith is. And that's what Geno Smith is. Geno Smith's not going to be a starting quarterback. He's not here. He's not the Giants. The Giants are going to draft a quarterback in the first round. They have a kid in Webb supposedly they like. Geno Smith's there to be a backup. So he doesn't have to play. The kid, they want to play the kid. No one can quibble about them playing the kid. They should have done it the right way. Brandon in Heightstown. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, Mike, what's going on?
What's happening?
I can't believe how badly they botched the Giants. I don't see what the point is of making this move. You're not going to learn anything anyway from Webb, like with this team. There's no talent, and they have very little motivation to even play. So I don't really get it. I mean, they could have let Eli finish the final 5 games, let him step down, move on from the team, and then draft a quarterback and let Webb compete with that guy next year. I don't get why they just didn't do that.
Listen, they messed it up. Listen, they admit they screwed it up. They did everything terribly. They did a very poor job of this. That's what they did. They made a situation much worse than it needed to be. That was the problem. I think that's the issue, and I think that is what needed to be corrected. They didn't do a good job of it. They did a rather poor job of it, as a matter of fact. So, like I said, they admitted they messed it up, and they really did. All right, a couple things here. Number one, let me give you a chance to